Welcome back to the Real Estate News. I'm now with Steve Schuster of RE/MAX Preferred. Welcome back, Steve. Let's talk a little bit about you and your experiences in real estate.
Well, I'm actually starting my 18th year now in the business, and I've been with RE/MAX since day one. It's been a great trip so far, I should say. The neat thing about it is, you're learning every day in this business. So.
Yeah, it's a great business to be in, and definitely a people business too. And you've got some special niches that you've got over there. We've talked about farmettes before, but some other things too.
Yeah, again, I'm a very avid outdoorsman, so, I do a lot with rec properties, hunting lands. Lake is another one. I lived on a lake for 10 years, so I know a lot of the ins and outs about what to look for as far as shorelines and things to keep in mind, whether you want it for fishing or water skiing or pleasure boating or whatever your real passion is. Some lakes, work better than others for things of that nature.
So you do a lot of that. You do a lot of hunting land too. What's that like?
That's kind of a neat, like I said, being an avid outdoorsman, I like getting out and walking properties, seeing what's in there. It's kind of in my blood to begin with. But again, it's one of those things that, you show a house, it generally takes you a half hour. If you're walking a 40, 80, or 100 acre piece of land, you're there for several hours. So pack a lunch and spend the day.
How is that in the winter now that we're getting into that snow season?
Actually, I prefer it in the winter. There's no bugs usually, and the fact that, with the tracks in the snow, you can usually tell, because anybody that's looking at rec land is usually looking at it for hunting purposes or things of that nature, and they want to see what kind of critter activity there is on the property.
That's neat too. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way. It's more than just being cold in that snow. You get a kind of a feel for the land and seeing some of the critters that are out there. Now, if people are looking to stay more, in town, maybe in Sun Prairie or DeForest, we got a lot of growing families out there, maybe on a modest budget, let's say a $200,000 budget. What neighborhood can they fit in, say, Sun Prairie or DeForest?
Well, in both of those communities, you certainly can find things in that price range. A lot of times it's going to be, maybe an older house, something that was built in the, 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s maybe. If you're looking for something new, a little less maintenance, things of that nature, generally there's, the options of half duplexes and condos and things like that, which are generally newer. So.
Yeah, and those have got the added incentive usually of, speaking of snow, of getting your snow, your driveway shoveled for you and your snow plowed for you, which is nice too. And definitely I want to let people know too that you offer some incentives to both buyers and sellers who work with you.
I do actually have a couple things that I like to help people with. One is a home warranty with a listing. Generally, most buyers these days, unless it's a brand new property, or they want the home warranty in for that peace of mind that they're not going to get stuck with some big expense right after closing. And so I generally, I pay for that myself. The neat thing about doing it that way is that I can put it on right at the listing period, and you're actually covered during the listing, and then it transfers to the buyer at the time of closing for a year.
That's really nice, too, that you offer that. Well, Steve, thank you so much. We're all out of time, but stay with us. We have more right after this.